Well, anyway, Francis talked me into taking over the first class. Because I didn't, I didn't really want to teach since I've never taught before. And he said that I could get over my nervousness by taking over the very first class and get to know the kids, and then later on I could come back and work with them later. So I went into the first class, nervous as I don't know what, and we talked about social science. One of the girls said, well, what is the right answer? You know, what is social science? And I said, well, I'm not going to tell you. It's what you think. What do you think it is? That's what I'm trying to find out. And she said, well, we've given you our answers, what we think it is, and we want to know. Now, what is it? You know, what are we going to be doing for the next 6 weeks? And I then told her, well, in this program, you find that that we're searching to find out what you feel and what you think, you know, and we're not so much interested in a right and wrong answer, because there are very few things which are absolute. There are very few answers which are absolute. And I think I sort of offended her. When I left the class, I felt like, oh, this girl is mad with me. And maybe the class doesn't understand at all what I'm trying to do. Before the class was over with, I was talking around the table and I spilled coffee all over myself. That was, I guess, an indication of really how nervous I was. But I guess everything came out all right. And I didn't teach the class again until today. And I was very nervous about that. And I went in with the assumption that I was going to have a problem with them opening up and discussing it.
Anybody any good?
It's not this here is just counter-revolutionary. This here is just to keep you down. That's all it does. It gives you a depressed feeling.
His wife is a negative thought
That's it.
about us. A very negative thought about us.
That's all it is.
This wasn't written for the Negro or the
It wasn't.
black man. It was written for the white man as to solidify his thoughts of our inferiority.
That's all it is. It's just
They didn't take the time to establish that this is no good because black men do not have the same cultural ideas we have. You know, when he written this, he should have said, like, Ellison said, that we have a culture of our own, that we have not been able to adapt to their culture because, blah, 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 such and such. But they just taken the time to put down the whole negative point of view as to what, black people have been doing since they've been here. They haven't said they've been doing this because of things like they say about marriage over here, that we marry for problems. You think that, or to escape our problems.
Yeah, they don't talk about love or nothing, they just give them our problems to make them feel better. Well, these people got so many problems, they're never going to get out of it, so they're just going to remain where they are.
He was here to dissect and not really to look. In other words, his frame of reference, you think, prevented him from seeing it like it is.
true.
Okay.
Now, if that man had came in there maybe as a worker, not coming in as a doctor dressed up with a suit every day, but as a worker. If he lived there on a working class level, then he'd have solved the problem.
If he came into the city with just $25 and spent 6 months, and tried to get an apartment and some furniture and everything, and try to get a job, then maybe.
Oh, how many of you have read Black like me? That's explaining exactly.
Yeah.
This is what that man did.
If he should have dyed his skin and went through that process, maybe he'd have dug it.
Okay,
Then he wouldn't be using his fame recipe, he'd be using experience.
Okay. You said they don't live in the ghetto, so therefore they never really understand it. But they're trying, right?
You know what?
I mean,
So what are we going to give him, an A for effort? At our benefit?
All right,
We take the brunt of the punishment from what they come up with.
They jumped all into different places. Nothing went according to sequence as I had planned it. And I would say something and they'd contradict me and say, well, that's wrong, and it's not that way. And I had three major things I wanted to do in class today. Number one, to bring out the fact that black families do have problems which are unique from white families. And the second thing I wanted them to do is to see that social scientists have a certain job. Now the third thing, his third job, is to find constructive solutions to human problems. And this is what we've been doing today. This is what you say the solutions are. Ways of solving the black problems. Redefine our culture. In other words, we can have a different culture that we don't have to
Assimilate.
we don't have to assimilate. Okay. And a second thing, someone else, I think you did, Leonard, you said that we could adapt to our uncontrollable circumstances.
We've been trying to adapt for damn 300 years now.
You said
We ain't went nowhere.
okay.
Huh?
Been going right wrong.
Oh, man, we've been...
Oh, it's 12 o'clock.
Going
See,
out.
I want to take just a few more seconds to discuss how does the social science go about doing this?
What?
Very quickly, the way Rainwater and Monahan, and the way even we do it, and many of us don't realize.
What's Monahan's position in Washington?
What is it? He's a laborer. He has something to do with the labor department. Do you know, either of you?
Nobody recalls?
He's in charge of urban affairs.
He's in charge of urban affairs.
Just because he wrote this, they give him that kind of play.
I guess so.
You see how that now, Monahan? This is a
Okay.
negative point of view they come out with.
Quickly, class, let's look at this. The social scientists have a certain procedure they go through to find information, and or a certain method they use.
They stay in the
And it's
ghetto.
the same thing that we use, we've been using this morning. Number one, they look at a situation, we looked at the situation of the black family, and they come up with a problem. They find the problem, so that's the first
No, they
part.
come up with the problem as they see it.
All right, as they see it, good.
Right.
All right, they find the problem.
Is that the 1, 2, 3, 4 steps they have in here?
Yeah.
To describe the disadvantaged position of Negroes?
Okay, yes. The first thing you do is find the problem. And Monahan has his problem on the first page in bold letters, that the fathers aren't there most of the time because they don't have jobs and they can't support the family. So in other words, this is the data he has found, and out of that data, he says, he organizes it and says that these are causes.
Right. But he
Okay.
failed to say why they couldn't find jobs.
The guy in the street, how long can he survive, do you think?
As long as the man wants, as long as the man wants to stay on his 2 feet, Jack, he'll survive a long time.
But what I'm trying to say,
As soon as he feels less than you with a education and everything, he's gonna fall. You can get the same man on the street with a lot of practicality, Jack, and tell you the same thing that Professor so-and-so told you on page 154 and write you the same kind of paper. It might take me an hour to say something, take you 1 minute. But we still get to the same point. You see what I'm saying?
I think you got the wrong idea. The men in the street don't feel lawyers, doctors, and mechanics, and things like that.
You know what lawyers and doctors mean? You know what that really means? That means a license to play on you in the street. That those that don't know no better. Lawyers and doctors are bona fide hustlers, Jack. They get money for going up to court and selling you how to play.
When the country started out, you know, it was the majority rules, and everybody set up these rules and everything.
well out of hand.
Yeah, the rules are ruling the people now. The people aren't changing the rules.
Can the people change the rules?
I don't think so anymore.
So what do you do, just accept them?
Kill the country. Make a new one.
How? But do you rebel after you get the bachelor's degree? Before, during? Do you get the bachelor's degree?
If that's what I'm looking for.
That's the thing with killing the country. See, if you kill the country, you know, you might as well just kill your chances too. So everybody's looking out for everybody else.